All right, welcome back, my coinaholics, wherever you may be this weekend. Hopefully, you guys are having a really, really nice, relaxful time searching through some coins or maybe doing some cherry picking online. Whatever your flavor is, keep in mind the Pocket Change Market Report is your number one source for just a general overview of some of the coins that have sold on eBay in the last 24 to 48 hours. Now, the coins highlighted on this particular video, if this is your first time here and you're kind of a virgin at the good old pocket change flippage report, it's real simple. If you found it in your coin rolls, if you found it in your piggy bank, if you found it by cherry picking coins from your local coin shop or a coin show, if you got one of those nearest you, God bless you, because I'm looking forward to the next show. Hopefully this whole COVID thing dials down a little bit where we're going to see more of that. But the idea is don't grade it at all. Don't spend any money grading these coins and just simply, send them on eBay, for a 7-day auction, or maybe you want to do a little buy it now listing. Whatever your flavor is, this is a good kind of barometer check to see how much some of your favorite errors and varieties have sold for raw. All right, so that's the beauty part. Why spend the $25, $30 to grade your coin through PCGS or NGC? All right, there's a time and place for that service, but for some of the lower end stuff where you could come away making $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 off your coins, the feeling is really good. Okay, and then we have a lot of relevant coins and currency. We got 24 listings to talk about, which I think you guys will enjoy. So hopefully this video for your Saturday afternoon will get your coin roll hunting juices flowing. Quick little announcement for the Monday market report on Monday. I will be recapping I've been waiting for this for quite some time, the Florida United Numismatics auction show event. That was supposed to occur earlier in the month of January, but instead it is an online auction event hosted by Heritage Auctions. We'll go ahead and recap a few coins that have sold. Of course, we hit up all the moderns. Anything post 1900 will be in full array, full display for you. But stay tuned for that. And then Monday, of course, we got our live coin Q&A live stream event that is going to be on the Live Coin Q&A YouTube channel. Go ahead and check it out. Throw in your sub and check out some of our other videos. It's a lot of fun. But we take care of your coin questions. Maybe there's a coin on the PCMR report that tickles your fancy you want to know more about. Go ahead and send them our way. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of these recent sales, starting with a little piece of currency. This is a 1988A $5 Federal Reserve note that shows an obvious shift in the first printing, which is going to be the black design that you see here. The actual third print with these serial numbers and district seals are all perfectly centered in relation to the note size. So that first print was definitely misaligned or shifted on that particular sheet. This one right here, it's a nice, really wholesome raw example. It does show some circulation. You can see the center folds in there. It's probably technically like a VF. A little bit of discoloration right here. But aside from that, just an overall pleasing note. The back, as you can see, is perfectly centered for the second print. This note right here is sold for $83.49. Generally, you're going to see some of these overprint kind of issues on the older, smaller sized head notes. You're not going to see too many of these on some of the newer notes. You might, but the big idea is to find these in a little bit older notes if you get a hold of them. I know some banks keep a lot of these still. All right, so we have one of the run-of-the-mill varieties that we all look for. This is a 1998 Lincoln Memorial cent that features the wide AM reverse. Of course, you guys know they made this in 98, 99, and 2000. So those are the three respective dates where you can find this transitional reversed wide AM. I believe it was intended for a proof strike, but up close. You could see the gap here in between the A and M at the base, and that's what you look for. This is a really easy variety to find. Now, this example here is a really nice higher grade specimen, and because of that, it's sold for $44.25. That's a pretty good amount of money. I would say that even at that particular grade level, it's not worth sending to PCGS unless you know it's going to be like a mid-state 68 or some crazy number like that. Those coins are worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. All right, Sullivan Numismatics, one of the marquee error dealers in existence, does some regular weekly sales. Okay, so we have a few coins that we're going to take a look here, starting with this 2001 P. It's a Philadelphia struck. North Carolina Statehood quarter. This one is about 5% off center. You can see it pretty well on this image, and it's a really nice high grade coin to boot. Off center type of statehood quarters are very well collected because these particular audiences are looking for a really nice off center coin for one of each of the 56 designs for the statehood program. This one right here is sold for $12.54. It's a little bit minor, but it's just enough to make it worth your while to pull out of change. We have a 1999 P Connecticut Statehood quarter. This one right here features a really nice off-center broad strike. It's not incredibly too crazy, but it does have its charm and eye appeal. Again, it's a nice higher graded coin, probably pulled out of a mid bag during its day. This one also sold by Sullivan Numismatics, and this one sold for $20. And the next one that we have here is a Maryland state quarter. This one is a Denver minted example this time around. This one right here is a nice kind of like just really mild broad strike. It's a nice grade 2, not as phenomenal looking as the previous two examples. I would venture to guess that this coin has seen a little bit of circulation during its day, but still a nice, really pleasing example for folks that are looking for, a minor error type of the state. This one right here, believe it or not, sold for $37. So obviously the Maryland statehood quarter is probably one of those key states in finding errors that just don't exist quite as often. So this is a phenomenally looking, visually stunning coin. What we have here is a 1965 with a partial mirror brockage on the obverse. What's really remarkable about this coin, other than its grade, it's a nice high grade example, but it actually shows the entire date. Like the date and part of the motto was spared on this brockage error. But this particular coin right here, a best offer was accepted under the original ask of $228.99. Whatever it's sold for, probably $150 if I had to guess. Some of you have the ability to check on previous auction records of eBay sales. But this one right here, really nice error. Okay, up next, we have a 1990p Lincoln Memorial Cent. The coin is not a high grade, but this is a coin that a lot of folks will identify as being something wrong with it. Okay, you can see the reverse of the coin. I mean, is it damage? Is it wheel damage or anything like that? What we actually have here is a really nice greaser. Okay, so the reverse die or the anvil die had a nice gob of grease on there. And this coin was struck with the grease on the die. And as a result, you have a lot of weakness in those devices on the reverse. The obverse was spared. Obviously, they didn't put any sort of lubricating grease on the hammer die in this particular instance, but a lot of it is represented on the reverse. The coin is very well circulated. It's passed through many hands, I can imagine, over the years. This example sold for $12.99. So pretty nice coin here. And again, this is a coin that I would look for, or error type that I would look for in every conceivable denomination that you could come across, whether it's pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, greasers are a very common error type. And the more extreme examples like this one are the ones that are worth the most amount of money. Okay, although minor struck through grease examples still do have a place in the secondary market. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next coin here. We have a 1989 P Washington quarter, a very nice higher grade specimen. If I had to venture a guess, probably like a mid-state 62, 63 type range. This one is off-center by about 10%. And again, you have a full feature date and mint mark. Those are important for these off-center struck coins. This particular example, because of its condition state and its date and just everything else about it, is quite desirable for an off-center type collector. This one here, a best offer was accepted. Their original asking price was $43.49. Keep in mind, a lot of these coins have the shipping built into it. So I did add the shipping to each one of the prices. All right, so probably the most incredible looking error that we've come across so far in the PCMR report is going to be this 1969 B series $1 Federal Reserve note, which has what we call a butterfly fold. This one right here occurred, I believe, at the top right of the subject sheet, and usually there's about, I think there's 32 notes to a sheet. So this is the top right most oriented note out of the bunch, out of the 32. You could see actually a piece of the selvage right here with the paper serial number. But this one right here, a butterfly note, there is a fold on that corner of the note before it was cut. It's just phenomenal looking error. These things pop up when you least expect them. Not really one that I would personally look for while going through currency. People like to strap hunt for, errors and fancy serial numbers. This one is more of an outlier. You'll normally have the best chance of finding this type of error if you go through fresh BEP straps or bricks direct from the source. But anyways, here's a picture of the folded down. So this is what it looked like previous to the cut, or after the cut rather. But you could see the selvage. You can even see some of the second print on the back on the fold. And then there's the back of the note. So pretty cool. Very, very nice. This one sold for $157.50. These butterfly folds or major fold errors are extremely desirable. There's a group of currency collectors that hunt these down. So the more major the fold error, the more that they're going to be worth. Now here's a tried and true cherry picker's guide repunch mint mark. Now this is a 1956D Lincoln wheat cent, quite a common date. This coin right here, even though it shows quite a bit of mint luster, mint red, has its fair share of issues as well. It's got carbon spots all around, which generally are more terminal to this type of composition, these bronze cents. Among, a few other things, discoloration of the planchet. You have what looks to be a smeared fingerprint on the obverse in front of Lincoln's face. But the most important part is going to be that repunch mint mark. This one is also referred to as the FS501. In the Cherry Picker's Guide, you have a prominent D that has been punched west of the primary mint mark on this. This is a type of variety that I would say might be visible to the naked eye. Normally, I just like looking under the magnifier for these type of things. If you guys do need magnifiers, I got some cheap ones available down below in the description box. I have Amazon links. I do get paid a little small portion for every sale that you throw in there. But, if you're looking for one of the marquee tools of the trade, go ahead and check it out. And you'll be able to look for things like this. Repunch mint marks, double to dies, transitionals. Having a magnifier, that's 8 to 10 times power will certainly help looking for these. All right, don't forget your scrap silver bins at your coin shop hold some pretty mysterious looking coins. Okay, we have a 1949D Franklin half dollar. Not a high grade specimen. It looks like it's been cleaned or polished or something like that. You might have a little bit of luster hiding somewhere on there, but this one is not a beauty queen by any stretch. But take a look for some pretty neat errors, whether it's a rim clip or in this particular instance, we have a nice obverse lamination. You can see the streak coming across Franklin's throat and into the field. This one right here sold for $38.95. Pretty nice. So by the way, the Lincoln RPM sold for $34.45, in case, I forgot. And I certainly did forget. It's not like me to forget, but yes, I forgot that time. All right, foreign coins are another kind of like hotbed of interesting varieties. Philippines, believe it or not, is a very well collected country. All right, take it from someone that knows, because I also have a pretty nice Philippines collection. I am half Filipino. I bet you guys didn't know that, although I've said it a few times in previous videos. This one right here was actually sold by the eBay seller as being a uniphase, but in this particular case, we have a tremendous strike through, or maybe it was a struck through die cap on this particular instance. But you could see it's a 1966. Was this a 10 centavos, I believe? Yes, 10C. But this is a, really nice error type. And these pop up when you least expect it in like bulk lots of rolled coins. There's a lot of neat stuff you could find in these lots. All right, for those of you that like to search through some of those cheapo, I guess, token lots, coin shops I know have boxes and bins and all that of just various different types of tokens. You never know when a rarity will be in there. Okay, this one looks pretty innocent enough, but this is a very rare token, and it's sold by one of my favorite eBay dealers of this type of exonumia. He goes by the name Obscurity on eBay, and I've bought probably a good dozen or so different tokens from him over the years. He's been around for quite some time, but in this particular instance, this is what they call a trade token. This is from the Palace establishment. It says Randsburg, California, but this one is actually a rare error type because the city name is misspelled. It's actually Randsburg with a D. The D is missing in the this city name. But this is actually a Mojave Desert gold mining town. I believe it was either a bar or someplace like that. But it's good for 12.5 cents in trade. These are a type of tokens I come across all the time in these bulk lots where you can buy them for like 50 cents. The trade tokens always say good for on the back of them. All right. And the trade tokens are always more desirable when you're able to find them with not only a business name, but also a city and state. There is a good fair share of trade tokens out there in existence that do not have a full city and state. It's almost like a guessing game. But there is a attributed catalog online that you could look through if you got some time to identify, city and state, kind of like the date range. This one is from right around turn of the century, 1900, thereabouts. It's after the Civil War store card, popularity, and then throughout the late 1900s, trade tokens like this were in full usage when currency was not available at the time. This one right here is sold for $353.50. It just goes to show you that quick little $1 to $2 buy at the coin shop can be worth a lot more money, and this is just proof positive right here. All right, so we have another nice off-center struck coin, this time a 1995 P Jefferson Nickel. Proudly displays a full date and mint mark. The coin is in really nice high-grade condition. This one sold for $19.45, and it is about 65% struck off-center. Really nice coin. I like this. All right, so we got another one right here. Another favorite. This time, this coin, this Lincoln Memorial cent, is of the pre-1982 bronze era. Okay, so it's a bronze plan. This one right here was struck through an early state die cap. All right, so this part right here is showing no design details whatsoever of of the die cap or the actual die itself. All right, so I would say this is probably more of a mid-state, before it crosses over. This one sold for a best offer. Their original ask was $97.99. I would say probably sold for maybe $50 to $75 as a conservative estimate. But pretty cool coin. Very nice example of this type of error. All right, so we got another piece of currency, this time a 1977A $1 Fed Reserve note. This one is missing something. What? Geez, I can't put my finger on it. What could it be missing? Well, if you're going to guess the serial numbers and the district seals, you are exactly right. It must have gone somewhere, right? So the third print is not on the front of the note. It must be on the back, out of all places. So the third print was inadvertently printed on the back of the sheet. I would guess that maybe all 32 notes were affected. This one somehow got through the inspection process and ended up in a strap. But this one right here is a really, really desirable error. Sold for $399.95. It's refreshing to see these type of notes not in a graded holder. Okay, but I don't think that's going to last long. I think the person that bought this will eventually have it slabbed by a third-party grader like PMG or PCGS Currency or one of the others. But very nice note. I've never personally owned one of these. I got close to buying one, but I think I ended up buying something else. I must have, because the notes, these were a lot more expensive probably 8-10 years ago. So if you can imagine paying $500-$600 for something like this, seems like a lot of money for a dollar bill. I don't know, but still very desirable even to this day. All right, here's our subject coin. We've talked about struck through die caps. This one was struck through a late stage die cap. The actual die cap surface that's stuck to the actual die is probably paper thin at this point, because you have some of the transfer of the design of the original die going through the cap. So we could discern from this image that it's a 2000D. It's a Denver struck coin for what it's worth. We usually don't see crazy errors of this magnitude coming from the Denver Mint, but here you go. The reverse of the coin, very well struck. All right, people are going to look at this. They're like, oh man, that thing was acid dipped or something like that. I'm like, well, it would affect the reverse too. We just don't see it on there. This one is just a marquee error. All right, you look at it, you know exactly what it is. Struck through die caps again. Very well collected in the error community. This one right here, pretty decent example. Obviously, it has circulated quite some bit. And people will look at it and say, there's just too many issues with this to keep. It's like finding a coin with a big old spot of glue or varnish or bubble gum or yesterday's Burger King dinner. You just never know. This one right here sold for $18.50. These are always big coins to find, and they are worth money. The more mid die state, progressions of a die cap are worth a little bit more money, but coins like this still have its place to error collectors. All right, so this is a 1983 Washington quarter. Now, the coin has a few condition issues. It's got, the rims all nicked up on the reverse here. You got some counter wheel damage, when this thing was crimped at one point. But if you can see it, it's got a little spinning eagle, all right, which simply is just a die clash. There you go. So you have a die clash. Okay, this is the most prominent part of this, and people love collecting these. But you could also see, a lot of the clashing on the obverse here behind Washington's head in the throat area. You could see that, and then in the front, right next to the bridge of his nose. So this is a very strong clash, and these are again well collected. People love the obscure stuff, like a spitting eagle or a spitting horse Delaware State quarter, among the few others. This one right here sold for $9.48, which I'm going to add is a really good amount of money for its condition woes. Condition plays a huge factor in the valuation of a coin. This one just goes to show you that, the error type on this coin still gives coins of this particular grade state some value. All right, so take that into consideration. Just because something looks bad doesn't mean that it's bad to everybody. All right, one person's trash is someone else's treasure. This is just a great example of this. Well, we have a Buffalo nickel here. A little bit tougher date, might I add. It's a 27S. Now, the coin looks like it's very well circulated. It's probably like a VG net type grade. The pebbly, weird surfaces kind of worry me a little bit. But I think it's just got a lot of dirt on there. So this one was sold as a 2-feather variety. All right. So usually with a 2-feather, this bottom feather right here would be missing. But it looks like there's slight remnants of that on there. This particular coin right here in a 2-feather is a lot more desirable in higher grades if you could find it. There are a few dates that are just a lot more common to find, like 1930, 1916 for the 2-feather, up and down the grade spectrum. But this is a little bit tougher one. This one sold for $33.49. Again, you still have a little bit of partial remnants of the 3rd feather right here, and that might actually scare some people off from actually investing in a coin like this, even though it is a tougher date. Another Buffalo nickel for you searchers out there. Now, this is a relatively nice, decent-looking coin. It does have some weird discoloration. I don't think it's toning, but the reverse is showing a lot more of that staining with that kind of off-brown color. 1935D is not a rare date. All right, so this is a very cherry-pickable coin. If you're searching through bulk Buffalo nickels at your coin shop or maybe online, you could find something like this. But it's a repunch mint mark. You can see the mint mark's been repunched over. The first initial D is west of the primary D on this particular case. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, sold for $51.25. That's a good chunk of money for a coin that probably was originally purchased for under $2 in this particular grade state. So make sure you look through some of those bulkier type of lots of like nickels or Indian head cents. There's a lot of really cool varieties that you could bank on, that you can make some money off of. Okay, this is just another instance. Well, the off-center market is certainly hot. We have a 1972 Jefferson Nickel. This one right here is pretty decent, although it has kind of like a smear or something here. It might have been like a coating of grease with a fingerprint smear. But this one right here, nice higher grade specimen. Again, very desirable. It's, probably off-center by about 50%. This one sold for $29.99. Pretty cool. Go ahead and collect these. They are a great investment. Now, this is probably the most dramatic fold over error. Okay, so we got the fold over and then we got some overprint on the fold. But you can see this one right here is one of the more major types. And I cannot, for the life of me, figure out why this particular piece of currency is not graded. This thing should have been graded like 10, 15 years ago. But as you can see, this is a 1985 $20 Federal Reserve note with a major fold over error with some overprint. There's the reverse. All right, so this was a note that was on the top right corner of the subject sheet. And how about that image right there? Okay, just all the blank white underneath. That fold was pressed really nice while they were printing out not only the first print, but the second print. But the strange thing is you can see all of the second print on there on this fold. So I don't know. It's just really, really incredible. And you don't see them raw like this that often. This one sold for a boatload of money. $1,300 is what we got here. Not sure if this is something that you'll find, maybe cherry picking or whatever. But if you have a collection that's been handed down to you, things like this do come up on occasion. Again, this is a note wholly that can be found in a BEP brick. And that's it. You're not going to find this, going through regular circulated straps of 20s. You're just not. But anyways, yeah, I'm in love with this note. Really cool error. We have a $5 1988A Federal Reserve note this time around. This time it's a little bit funny. The third print is inverted on this one. And the first print is misaligned. Now the reverse of the note is also misaligned too. So the sheet was upside down when the third print was made. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff right here. Inverted third prints are a pretty rare error to find in currency collecting. But this one here, a best offer was accepted under the original asking price of $758. Man, we got some expensive notes that aren't graded. I just don't get it. These are all going to somehow, some way end up in slabs here real soon, I can imagine. There's the back of the note, slightly off-centered second print. All right, and speaking of off-center, we're going to finish off the off-centered portion of the video with a earlier Indian had sent, 1891. Again, I missed out on this one. I need to pay more close attention to some of these coins that are out there that are raw. I mean, I can't believe this thing is raw. It should be in a graded holder, which I can imagine it might someday. I would say it's a nice, pleasing XF45. I mean, it's really strong. Shows probably 3.5 diamonds on the old ribbon right there. But a little word of caution. The reason why that this one is pretty relevant, other than its error type and the type of coin, is for your photography. All right, notice the background's kind of like a yellowish, and then whatever the background is that's more prominent to a camera lens will end up washing the entire note or the entire image as being a tint of yellow. So both images look great. There's just more yellow than what I'd like. So use like maybe just a white sheet of paper or an entire black background, and try and stay away from these oversaturated type of colors like orange, yellow, and you should do okay. Maybe blue. I would probably stay away from blue as well. So this one right here, a best offer was accepted under $280. What a wise buy. These coins are going to certainly dry up over time, and they are very desirable off-center errors, especially for like Indian head cents, Buffalo nickels, Mercury dimes, what have you. And the final coin for all of you half roll hunters out there, this is a great one right here. This is a coin right here that, generally not a lot of people would pay too much attention to. Some would probably pull it out, but, of course, the big draw with hunting $50 is the silver. Am I right? Whether it's 40% or a 90%er. But, those coins are worth, like $6-7. The 90%, that is. The 40% are right around $3. What if I told you that this one singular coin right here is worth many more times than a single 90%er? You'd probably think I'm nuts. But again, this right here, the strike through grease on both sides, you can see it on the obverse and the reverse of the coin, is very important. Okay, it's important to collectors and it's important to their wallets. This one sold for $28. Which is equivalent to what, 90% silver halves? So, yeah, keep an eye out for stuff like this. Even if it's a little bit more minor. I mean, if you could find a struck through grease candy $50 or a missing FG initials, those are worth as much as a 90% $50. So keep that in mind. You could always sell the coin and buy a 90% half on eBay. People have done that before. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to go ahead and do it for this edition of the Saturday's Pocket Change Market Report. It's on every Saturday. Why am I kidding? But it sure was a lot of fun. A lot of great stuff for you to consider. Enjoy your cherry picking this weekend or your coin roll hunting. There's going to be a lot of that with the brand new 2021 quarters out there right now. Go ahead and check them out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more quality concerns for new coins. And I think I'm okay with that. The more errors, the better. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit that good old bell for instant notifications. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Coinaholics. We are discovering together. You guys have a fantastic weekend. I will see you on the Monday Market Report for some Heritage Auctions fun sale business. We got a lot of great stuff going on. You guys take care. Have a great day. And I'll see you on the next coin video.